My name's Rebecca Harrison. I'm with Airship Isabella. The character that I play is Attica Valora. Airship Isabella is an artists collective and a business. We run a props and costuming house out of New Orleans. We do custom leather goods primarily. We do some clothier work, hatting. We do jewelry work. There's a whole lot of different things that come together to make the company what it is. We have both a shop front in New Orleans and we do the convention circuit. We also work for things like TV and movie industry. We go to the sets, we provide costumes, we provide leather. All of those things are kind of in our wheelhouse. We're starting to get into things like weapons work and things along those lines. We're incorporating a lot of new things into our company as well. How I got started was, it was friends of friends got together basically and invited me in, and through some harrowing adventures we ended up together and back in the trip, and now I'm actually living in New Orleans working for the crew full time. As an artist coming in to work with other artists who are very, very talented, you are encouraged and you're pushed to grow in a lot of ways and grow past your normal boundaries. So you're going to get into new things. You're going to try your hand at things you've never done before. You're going to do things that you've never pushed yourself to do, like turn over things in a much faster pace, turn over things in a much greater number and volume. You're going to do things in a new direction or in a style that you've never done before. So as an artist, it takes you and it stretches you and it really works your muscles and gets you to where you can do anything that you really set your mind to. And then you have a whole team that you have to dynamically work with, which is a whole different monster in itself. I would say it's changed me for the better. I'm a lot more independent, but I'm also a lot more codependent on my team to make sure everything works properly. And without that, really, our company doesn't work the way it needs to. If it were any other way, the company would not perform as well as it does. We actually take a trip out to Wild Wild West Con, which is in Tucson, Arizona. And one of my first trips out of the state, actually with the group, we ended up blowing a tire on the Mexican border. And so we were sent forward in a car. And in this car, we found a town that looked like a place that we affectionately now called Novak, right out of the Fallout game. And to get said tire, we had to drive around and find a man in his house who was a tire repairman off of the highway, who didn't speak English. And when our resident Spanish speakers went in to get said tire with money, they didn't come out for quite a while. And we were a little frightened. But as the fact went, they finally did come back out with the tire, but they told me after the fact that they had to sell me to get the tire. I didn't think that was funny at all, but it is one of the lingering jokes that runs with us, and we continue to go back to Novak every time we pass through, whether it's willing or not. Yeah, it's lovely. It was a really lovely and fond memory, and I enjoy telling that to everyone I meet because it's not every day you get sold for a tire. For people who are getting into the scene, I would definitely say don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. Your designs, your ideas, your creations are unique to you. And you're always going to approach something differently with a new perspective. And in the long run, that's going to be exactly what you're going to end up producing. As long as you continue and you put your hands to it and you work on it, it's going to be unique to you, and that is your steampunk, that is your genre, that's your art, and that's good. That's what you need to produce because that's what makes you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, don't do it. Go for it. For myself, personally, I would just keep telling people, as I tell myself, not to judge yourself based on where everybody else is. Enter it, do the best you can, and you'll find that if you continue to do the best you can, you'll end up at the top of your game because you'll have done the best. And especially if you like excellence, because I like excellence like anybody else, you can do your own thing. So that's what I would say. Like, continue to chase it, don't give up on it because maybe somebody's ahead of you at one point or another. Because that's all relative anyway. At the beginning of the year, we were called out to do a prologue to a movie called Aether, produced by Frame 29 Films, excuse me. And it's basically the beginning of a movie. Instead of doing a sizzle reel or something that was going to allow us to take this to producers or to someone who's getting us funding for the movie, we were going to shoot something in the world itself immediately. So we were going to have something to take to them and say, here's what we have the idea for, now fund us and we'll do the whole thing. So we came in, we did all the costuming for it. What we didn't realize when we brought the costuming in, that we were going to fit their bill so perfectly, they put us in front of the camera. So we are actually in the prologue, and we have a short film that went with it, and it's all up online. You can watch it. But our directors, Drew and Horst, are actually over in Korea right now pitching for the movie. So that's really exciting, and we hope to be hearing back from them really soon about the next thing that's going to start getting rolling. I know they have talked about doing a web series as a teaser to lead up to the movie, and we may be participating with that as well. So that's in the immediate works. The show that we just completed in August is AMC's Into the Badlands. It'll premiere November 15th. 15th, 19th, it's sometime that week. And it's after The Walking Dead. We were called in to be vendors, and we were allowed to do all of the hard leather that you see in the show. Something along the lines of 3 months of really intense work that we didn't really even look up from. We have actors like Daniel Wu and Emily Beecham, who are both fairly well known in both Chinese and British acting circles. We got to work with them personally. We got to do costuming for all of the extras, all of the fight crews, all of the main actors, and then we also did prop work and some costuming for them as well. I really encourage people to get out and support your local communities, because it's communities like Steampunk that are getting artists their name. And if there was more of us involved in this, we would all be getting these kinds of jobs. Because having worked with people in industry, it's every genre, from the absolute artists who are just the geniuses to the people who really don't know a whole lot and they're filling a spot. All those things can be worked out, and if you have an interest in the thing, put yourself out there for it. Even if you don't have the schooling to do so, attempt it. Even be involved in it. Get involved in and volunteer to do acting stuff. People always like free volunteers. It's good stuff. If you can, find your local stuff. I know there's stuff going on all over the Texas area right now. There's definitely stuff going on in New Orleans, and it pumps a lot of extra creativity into the communities and into the cities that we come from. And that's really, really important, because we want those things to stay local and not go overseas. We want those things here to give artists, actors, costumers jobs, and we all want those things.